Welcome to Right on the Mark with your host, Mark Young. Today I have a special guest. The lovely Kimberly is here. Say hello, Kimberly.
Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me here today.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's Christmas time, and what more would you want than having the lovely Kim with you during Christmas time?
Why, thank you.
Of course, of course. You know, speaking of Christmas, brings back a lot of memories. Going back years and years and years, there's been so many Christmas memories with my family, your family,
Mhm.
our family. I mean, geez, I can't recall all the special times, but man, there's been many of them. Huh?
Yep,
Wouldn't you agree?
yep.
Geez, I'll tell you.
We've been together for a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. We've been together. We used to start out going to like both sides of the family, right?
Oh
We'd
yeah,
start out going, would have to pre-schedule our time with your side and pre-schedule the basically a party with my side.
yeah,
I mean, geez, and that was every year, and it seemed like it came around so fast, and then the kids got involved, and then we're like, all right, well, now we have to go with the kids' schedule.
yeah.
And then we had more kids than my brothers and sisters, and then your brothers and sisters, and then
Yeah.
it just keeps going and going, doesn't it?
Yep. Now, thinking back for you, what's like the first Christmas that you can actually, or Christmas memory that you can
Oh wow,
remember?
there's so many, uh, but there's probably one Christmas that I thought was very magical myself. I don't remember the year that it was, but
Do you mean the year that we got engaged?
oh yeah, yeah, of course. That was a very magical year, that Christmas. But I was talking about
Oh,
growing up as
okay.
a child. Maybe, I don't know, second, third, fourth grade, somewhere around there. The house was all decorated. I was done with school for the year. We had 2 or 3 weeks off before the new year. And in the 70s, I guess it was more magical just because there was less things to do. There was
For
less
you.
hustle and bustle.
For
Yeah, I mean,
you.
I was a kid growing up. Of
Yeah.
course, there wasn't many things for me to do.
You
My
had stuff
hardest job was
waiting.
waiting. Yeah, my hardest job was waiting for the tree. I could remember one year I loved Christmas trees. Loved Christmas trees. I made my own Christmas trees. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I made a Christmas tree out of hockey sticks. That's how much I loved Christmas
Oh my
trees.
gosh.
And I put that up and I'd store it with the original Christmas trees and then would bust it out once a year. And I always wanted to be there whenever we opened up the box because I'm like, wow, I remember putting this Christmas tree away and now we're opening back
Yeah.
up and there goes another
Did you
year.
ever have a real Christmas tree?
No, we never had a real Christmas tree. We always had artificial trees. My
Mm.
dad would spray it with pine scent,
Mm-hmm.
if you
Mm-hmm.
folks remember that. But it would smell for maybe a couple hours like a real Christmas tree, but then it would fade away.
Yeah.
But no, we never had a real Christmas tree. But we did have a silver Christmas tree. I remember my mom and dad would set one up, or I would help my mom set it up in the basement.
Aluminum.
Yeah, aluminum, and it had one of those colored wheels
I
that would
remember it.
flash on the tree.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really fun. And one of the best parts about that was I had Christmas presents underneath that tree as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And that was in your basement, right?
yeah, that was in my basement. So I had Christmas presents underneath the real tree in the quote unquote living room, and then we went downstairs for more presents.
Oh.
So I guess Santa just spread them out. It wasn't like I got more presents. He just put some under this tree
Uh,
and some under that
so that
tree.
was exciting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just thought that that they were just more presents or extra presents. But
My family always had a real Christmas tree
what?
until I came along and ruined it for my entire family.
Why doesn't that surprise me? The lovely Kim ruined
No,
it.
of course, I was allergic to the Christmas tree, and I can't remember if it was hives or a rash or something. And I had to I had to stay away from the Christmas tree. I wasn't allowed like to be in because they didn't want to take down the Christmas tree until Christmas. But the day like Christmas Day, then our Christmas tree went to the curb, and from that point on, we never had.
It didn't stay till like New Year's.
No, because I was like having an allergic reaction to it.
Oh,
So
jeez.
they weren't gonna make me suffer. Thanks, Mark, for thinking that I would just suffer
Yeah,
for
like
till New
wow.
Year's.
Always keep the tree till New Year's. I thought
Get
it
rid
was
of the
him.
kid, keep the
Yeah.
tree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's
So,
interesting.
yeah. And then since then, we've just always had artificial
Yeah,
trees.
yeah. I mean, I remember coming over, and it was always fun to go over your house because you get to see somebody else's house
Hmm.
and see how it was decorated. Like I always
Hmm.
saw my family, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, but to see, for lack of a better word, a stranger's house decorated for Christmas
Yeah.
was kind of cool.
Yeah. Your house actually came up yesterday when I was riding home with my mom and dad, and we were looking at Christmas lights. And I remember your house on Willow Drive. You used to put those green lights all along the gutter, and
Oh
I've
yeah.
always liked that. I always thought that that looked so pretty to have like the gutter like lined with it. But then I always think, me as an adult now, I always think like, oh my gosh, who put those Christmas tree lights up there? You know?
On a
Would your dad
ladder
do that?
on a ladder in winter. Well, yeah, my dad would do that, but then when my brother got older, he would help. Then when
Oh,
I got
okay.
older, I would help. And then the one
Was it a
year,
pain?
yeah, it wasn't a pain, but just moving the ladder. But
Oh,
then there was
okay.
times when I'd take it down. My dad always put it up, but then I would take it down because
Oh,
it's a little bit easier taking it down.
yeah.
So I would do that for him. But I mean, we had other things that we had to do. There was uh, there was like this giant Santa Claus plastic face that he would put up on the side of the
Oh,
house,
yeah. Yeah.
and you'd have to string it. And I remember one year he put all the string on it and he tied it and he drilled holes in a brick to hang it on the side of the house. And then I just cut the strings and took it down. And he's like, "What'd you do that for?" He's like,
Oh.
"Those strings are supposed to be used every year." So
Oh, you were in
yeah, I
trouble.
was in trouble, but I don't think he was that mad at me because he at least didn't have to go and take all the decorations down. All he
Yeah.
had to do is replace the string the following year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember those times were, very magical. I'll just go back. One other memory I have is, as a younger kid was, Christmas, I thought was enjoyed by all. Little did I know that not everyone enjoyed Christmas like me. I
Hmm.
guess people had jobs back then, and I just thought maybe they didn't work at that time. But everyone had jobs. And I remember how you said the Christmas tree would come down right after Christmas.
Hmm.
Well, my mom would leave everything up
Hmm.
until like the day after New Year's or like
Hmm.
the very next day we went to school.
Hmm.
So I can remember having a very magical Christmas, getting everything that I wanted under the tree, and I just wanted to keep that going like all throughout the year. I come home from school,
Oh, no.
everything is down and gone, put in its box and put
Oh, my
away. I'm
gosh.
like,
Oh, my
oh,
gosh.
I guess Christmas is
Christmas is
over.
over.
I was like, oh, I was singing, hopping and skipping from the bus stop coming home, saying, oh, I can't wait to go sit down in front of the tree and stare at it. I get home and it's all gone. And
Well,
I,
I'm glad you feel that way because then that way you are not upset whenever I put up the Christmas decorations. Like, well, we both do now,
yeah,
but we put them up like the day after Thanksgiving and we don't take them down until after New Year's.
right,
Because some
right.
people don't like that. They like it,
Yeah, and it all
clean.
depends on how much you put up. That
Yeah,
means you have to take it back down. Like
right.
I would decorate the tree. I'd have a special ornaments that were mine that I
Hmm.
would put on the tree. There were some that I put under the tree. I mean, we
Hmm.
always had the manger scene, the three wise men, which broken year after year, but we still put it under there. The
Hmm.
heads were broken, but we still put it under the tree. Yeah, there was that going on, and I remember you telling me about a Santa mouse. I'm like,
Oh,
what in the
yeah.
world's a Santa mouse? And you're like, it's a Santa mouse that leaves you presents in the tree, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
I honestly, I can't remember. I just remember that we had it. And I think that it started with my mom with her kindergarten class. I think there was a story,
Oh, a
a
Santa mouse
Santa
story.
Moss story.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting,
And I
interesting.
think
But
that he would leave like a little present in the tree with like a gold ribbon on it or something like that.
yeah, I remember you did that for the kids too.
Hmm.
You put it
Hmm.
in a tree, and I don't fully understand what a Santa mouse was,
Well,
but
we
we went.
probably should have read the story.
Yeah, it's probably be a good idea to read the story. But we're not all kindergarten
I
teachers, so
know.
we
I
can't read
know.
all those stories.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was interesting. Then, the kids got older, and we just grew away from that. Now the kids they just want big ticket items now.
Yeah.
Things from
And
the big
they're
box
they're
store.
at the point I think where like, oh geez, we got to get the Christmas decorations out again. Oh, we have to carry up the boxes. Oh, we have
Yeah,
to do this.
yeah.
You know. When I was young, you saw my house in Stroll Acres. It was not a very big house. But to me, because I was so little, I always thought that it was a huge house. And I remember a lot of people don't may not know this about my dad, but he's very artistic, and he would always we had a big window in our living room area, and it looked out onto the street that was the front of our house, and he would always paint every year a scene. Like we didn't know what the scene was going to be, but you know how like when you go to stores
Oh
and
yeah,
they have like the temper paint that they paint
yeah. It looks
in the
like there's
scene.
snow on a window.
Yeah, or like they might have Santa Claus or, something. He would come up with some kind of picture that he was going to paint, and then he would paint it on our window
Wow.
like that. And it was really
Oh, the
neat. That
good
was like one of the
doctor.
decorations that we had.
The good doctor has many talents.
Yep. Then we moved to Motown,
And it was all
and it
downhill
just
from there.
changed. Yeah. We weren't going to paint the window anymore.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean,
Yeah.
so many traditions. I mean, then
Yeah.
you look around the neighborhood and you always want to compare your house to the neighbor's house.
Hmm.
I remember just my mom would say, "All right, we're gonna go drive around and look at Christmas lights around
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
neighborhood." So we would do that. Would even if I was in my pajamas, we're like, "All right, let's get in the station wagon and drive around the
Hmm.
neighborhood and see other Christmas lights." Now they have places where you could go, like
Yeah.
Ogle Bay Park, where you can go and see lights, professional lights done.
Hmm.
We did go there the one year, but we weren't that impressed with that. I mean,
Well, it was very cold, and we were in a bus, and the windows just kept steaming up. And
yeah,
so it was like they came around and passed out paper towels to everybody to wipe off the windows as we went through.
yeah,
And that was the year that Sean he had his arm in a sling. He had a broken arm.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But the room was nice. I
Yeah,
remember
it was
staying at
nice.
the room. The dinner was nice. I mean, we had a good overnight stay, but yeah, that bus ride, we never went back. That bus ride going around to see the lights just didn't do it for me.
Yeah. No.
I'd rather just ride around Monessen looking at lights.
Yeah.
But
Well, now you can start seeing Christmas lights up at right after Halloween.
year
Our
round,
neighbors put up their Christmas
yeah.
lights after Halloween.
The neighbor across from my dad just leaves his
Oh,
Christmas lights on the house
yeah,
year round.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
that's too funny. But
so then, I, then we met, and
then we started
was
our whole new
yeah,
Christmas, traditions.
yeah,
Midnight Mass was big
mm-hmm,
back in the valley. I mean, you had multiple churches to go to. I remember going with my one friend Yanni to his Greek church down where Debbie lives now. That was a
oh,
church right next door to Debbie's house now.
really?
That was a church we would go to, from what I remember. Yeah, I think that
Oh,
was a
okay,
Greek church.
okay, yeah,
And I remember going to that midnight mass. And
mm-hmm,
then I probably went to midnight mass with my family. Then I probably went to midnight mass with your
yeah.
family.
I remember one year it was so cold out, and we were going to midnight mass, but we were driving separately. We You came and picked me up in your Camaro.
Ah, nice.
It was freezing cold that year. I'll never forget that. And I was like, oh, you have to go out. You have to leave at like 11 o'clock or
Oh yeah,
to
yeah.
make sure you get your seat,
Well, I
you
do
know.
remember going with you and your family in
Hmm.
your dad's Burgundy four-door car.
Okay.
And we were, I forget the street, but I guess we were going on the road that Holy Name was on. And it was a one-way street, and a car was coming the other way. Because, a lot of
Oh,
out of town folks were coming
right.
to Midnight Mass because they'd come in to visit. And I guess they didn't know that was a one-way street. And your dad met them at the street and had them turn around because they didn't know they were going the wrong way. So of course, the good doctor had to point it out and had
Yeah,
them turn around and go away. But it all turned out. But I remember that night was very cold.
really.
Sitting in the back seat waiting for the car to heat up.
Oh, my.
I mean, it took, it probably took 10 minutes to heat up, but it felt like a half an hour
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because of how cold it was. And man, uh, you know, nowadays it seems like some of the Christmas Eve masses aren't as plentiful. They're not out there. That
No.
like it's far and few in between, I would
Yeah,
think. I
yeah,
think our churches now are getting away from that midnight mass.
yeah.
Just
Just watch it on TV.
yeah, yeah, that's what my dad would say
Although
all the
I'd
time.
probably fall asleep at midnight watching a church
Yeah,
service.
my one buddy at work, he goes to church on I think he calls it Christmas, Easter, and Christmas. That's when he goes to church.
Oh my gosh, those
Christmas,
are
he
the two
calls it.
times of the year.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He goes those 2 years, or those twice a year. But yeah, what other traditions can you think of? I remember somebody cut down my Christmas tree in my front yard growing up.
Oh,
Yeah.
would that happen to have been a relative of yours
Well,
eventually?
how the story goes is, you wake up one day and we had two Christmas trees in the front yard. And the one on the left, if you're looking out our picture window, was missing, was gone. And I guess my mom and dad woke up and found out that somebody cut down the Christmas tree in our front yard.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then
You guys didn't hear anything?
no, I didn't hear anything.
You always seemed like you were the lightest sleepers in the world.
Yeah, we slept through anything. I mean, that tree was cut down, and then I can't remember if it was my brother or older sister that saw it at the Monessen High School dance. So
The
they,
Christmas
yeah, they
dance.
brought the Christmas tree from my yard to the Christmas dance at
Oh my
Monessen.
gosh.
So I don't know who the superintendent was that year, but I'm still looking to press charges because the superintendent allowed this tree to go into the gymnasium at the Christmas dance.
What year was that?
I don't know. I don't know. It had to be 77, 78,
Oh,
somewhere around there.
that's close. That's on the cusp.
I'll have to
Good
ask my
deduction.
older sister and brother to
Yeah.
see what year that was. But yeah, so our Christmas tree in the front yard was at the Monessen High School dance.
Nice.
Yeah, that's always a fun story
Oh
to
my
tell.
gosh. Wow.
That's too funny. But
Yeah.
man, we had some other traditions where we would celebrate on whatever day was convenient for us when the kids were small.
Oh,
When
yeah.
Sean was a baby, if I had to work on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, or if you had to, we would celebrate Christmas, and it wasn't even a Christmas day. It was a couple days before or after.
Well, it was more whenever you had to work at the hospital because you worked shifts, and days would go by where you wouldn't even see Sean. Because
Yeah.
you would come home and he and I would be sleeping, and then we'd get up the next morning and leave, and you'd still be sleeping. So when you had to work that, I remember that one Christmas. Um, we had Christmas Day, quote unquote. I'm doing little air
Air
quotes.
quotes.
Um, on Christmas Eve because we were like, well, he won't know. He's 2. I don't even know if he was 2 yet. He might have been. Oh, he was just going to be 2. I bet.
Yeah, I think it was.
In January, and I'm like, he won't really know. So we had a big Christmas Day at our house, and he was all excited.
And it was Christmas Eve.
It was actually Christmas Eve, and then he and I went to my mom and dad's on Christmas Eve night and stayed over, and then we woke up there Christmas Day, and that was the year that he got the riding horse, the horse up high on springs.
Oh, the rocking horse.
The rocking
Oh,
horse, yeah.
that deadly rocking
Oh
horse
my
with the
gosh.
springs that would bust.
Yeah, and he had that blonde, like page boy haircut. It was just flopping in the wind, and he was rocking that horse. I thought that he was going to go flying off of it. I mean,
Yeah.
he was holding on for dear life, but I thought the springs were going to
I think
snap.
Adam did the same thing. Didn't he ride that horse the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah, they all
Yeah.
try to like break the springs. They
Yeah.
ride it like it was a quad. Yeah, and now they ride
Yeah.
quads for real. That's funny.
When you were little, did you ever open any Christmas presents on Christmas Eve?
No, we didn't. We didn't really. Maybe as I got older, we did. But one of the things I would do is, we had a main TV growing up, one TV, so we all watched that TV. So I always thought if I stared at a present long enough, I could see through the wrapping paper and see what it is.
Is that like your X-ray vision?
Yeah, but it never worked. And there was this one year, this one present really got to me. I'm thinking, what in the world is this? The shape of it, like it just didn't make sense.
Was it a box, like a square box?
Yeah, it was a square box, and I'm like, oh man, what is this thing? What is this thing? I'm gonna have to remember this for the rest of my life because it's really bothering me. And I'd stare at this present for hours. I'm like, oh, my X-ray vision, my X-ray specs isn't working.
Wait. Like, how old were you? Were your presents out already?
This was early '80s. Yeah, the presents were out. Well, probably the presents were out probably for Christmas Eve. So maybe this was the time that we were opening Christmas presents before Christmas, like on Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay.
And would you like to know what it was?
Yes.
It was Hungry Hungry Hippos.
Seriously?
Yeah. Remember that Hungry Hungry Hippo game? That's what it was. I'm like, oh, that's what
I honestly do not remember that game until like when Erica was little.
Yeah, I obsessed over that for a long time.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I did a lot of, well, my brother did as well, but I did a lot of tricks to like find out Santa Claus.
Did you ever open up presents?
No, never did that.
And resell them?
No, never did that. You did that?
No, I didn't.
All right. Oh, that's good. I would put a tape recorder behind the tree, And then I would get the tape recorder in the middle of the night. Well, not in the middle of the night, like maybe
Early
midnight.
morning.
Yeah,
Oh.
midnight. And then I would hear what Santa Claus had to say about it. So I did find out a few of what my gifts were because it was tape recorded that
Oh my
Santa Claus
gosh.
didn't know. So, but after that, I kind of
You weren't
felt
afraid that Santa Claus would see the tape recorder?
no, no, I wasn't afraid. But
He'd
then
say, "Good morning, Mark. I know what you're doing."
I know what you did last summer.
You're trying to fool me.
Yeah. But then after I listened to that, I felt bad because I heard what I was going to get. My main gift, I heard what I was going to
Oh,
get.
so it
And
ruined your
yeah, do you
surprise.
know what it was? I remember.
Bike.
No,
Um,
walkie-talkies. I love walkie-talkies.
oh,
Oh, and I
walkie-talkies.
found out I was getting walkie-talkies. Then I couldn't fall asleep because I'm like, I just ruined Christmas for myself because I had that darn tape recorder behind the tree.
Was it the same walkie-talkies that we would use to talk to each other?
Probably, yeah, probably. Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah, because our houses were so close together, or like if I was babysitting somewhere near your house,
Yeah.
we would each have a walkie-talkie and we'd talk to each other.
Yeah, before cell phones, we
Yeah.
used the old walkie-talkies. I mean, I remember running down the hall, looking in the middle of the night, running down the hall and seeing if presents are there, and then I would run back to the room and go, "He came, he came, he came,"
Oh my gosh.
and then I'd wake everyone up by saying, "He came, he came, he
Was this
came."
pre-Dana or was that Dana?
I don't know. I can't remember. All I remember is my brother was still, uh, in his bed in our
And
room.
your brother was probably like, "Go to sleep,
Yeah,
Mark."
everybody's like, "Go to sleep, Mark. Go to sleep." But
And but see, the reason why I asked because if you would have said that to Dana, I can imagine she would have been like, "Let's
yeah, I
go."
know. Let's go. But not everyone shared the passion as me back then. I would really get passionate, like, oh, we got to find out what it is, when it is, when does this all happen? I guess when it hit me that, Santa Claus didn't visit is whenever I would go out and about and I'd look at people going, why aren't you excited? This complete stranger is going to give you everything you asked for. Why are you not
Yeah.
happy? I'm like, why are people just not being happy around this time? It's a magical season. Do they not know what's going to happen?
Mhm.
And then a year or two later, I'm like, oh, I guess I know the reason why they're not happy because Santa Claus isn't really who he used to be.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
but don't want to be don't want to have a spoiler alert
Yeah,
on
I know. I was
right
gonna
on
say
the
we're gonna
mark.
have to put a disclaimer down at the
Yeah.
bottom. Do not let your children listen to this.
Right. Oh, wow. But yeah, those are just some of the moments I had.
Yeah.
I mean, you stayed in more houses than I did. I mean, I had Christmas in my Willow Drive house.
Yeah.
But
By the time we moved to Menneson, though, I mean, I was, what, 13, 12 years old. It was different at that age, you know. It was not, I mean, it was still magical, but it was a different type of magical, time of the year.
yeah, I
So,
guess it's all on how you decorate the house that
yeah,
makes it. Like my mom and dad would go all out one year and maybe not as much the next
yeah.
year. I remember coming to your mom and dad's house when they lived on Grand Boulevard, and
Hmm.
man, like every inch of the house was decorated.
My dad loved to decorate.
Wow.
He would decorate all those houses, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, he would put up the trees. He was like the main person that did all
Wow, I'd
that.
like to have a guy like that. Can we rent him out now?
Yeah, I mean, still, he's still decorating, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, your tree was always big and full.
Yeah,
We have a new tree now, which
yeah,
Sean says is really big and
yeah.
tall, but yeah, it is a big tree.
It is big.
And
Yeah.
we still get a lot of presents for the kids. Even though they're older.
Shh, don't spoil
Oh, yeah.
that. Well, the problem is that when they get older, it's hard to figure out what they want. They're not walking around going, "I want this, I want that,"
Right.
And like with Sean living pretty much on his own for now 8 years, I don't even know what he has and what he doesn't have.
Right, right. I mean, it's so
So,
hard now, but I think the important part is to just keep the spirit alive.
yeah.
It's not so much more the gifts now; it's just more of seeing the family and
Oh,
just
yeah.
going through the holiday season with everyone that you're
Yeah.
close to. I can remember one year your dad was in a hospital,
Oh, yeah.
and
Couple years my
well,
dad was
yeah,
in the hospital
yeah.
around Christmas time, or he was
Yeah,
home from the
the good
hospital.
doctor wasn't so good. He was he was in a hospital a day or two around the holidays, but that didn't stop us. We brought
Brought
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah, we brought Christmas to him.
Yeah.
I told him it wasn't where you are, it's who you spend it with.
Right.
So
Right.
he was glad to see all of us show up. That's probably Christmas he'd like to forget, but
Yeah.
hey, we still saw him, we still celebrated it, and it worked out well.
My mom spent a Christmas in the hospital
She
too.
did?
Yeah. I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there?
No, because it was when my sister was born.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, your sister
So,
Chris.
yeah.
Imagine that. Chris
Chris on
on
Christmas
Christmas
Eve.
Eve. Oh, that's
Yeah.
too funny. Yeah, we still
Yeah.
celebrate her birthday
Yeah.
and Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So she
So
kind of lucked out. She thinks she's getting gypped out, but she kind of lucks
she
out.
always said that she got gypped, but I
Yeah.
don't think
But
so.
we gather for her birthday every year.
Yeah.
So she always has a birthday party every year. I don't always have a birthday party every year. Nobody comes to my house on my birthday every single year.
We don't go to her house. We go to my mom's
Yeah,
house, my
but we
mom and
see
dad's
her.
house.
Yeah, but we celebrate
Yeah.
it every year.
Yeah.
So, Chris, if you're listening, all my fans out there, I think you're lucky. I think you're
She
lucky.
didn't get gypped.
Yeah, you didn't get gypped. I think you're very lucky to have a birthday on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. What else you got going on this week? Wrapping presents.
Yeah.
That's always fun to do.
Yeah.
Putting them out, looking at the kids' faces. Oh, wait, we're probably gonna. They'll probably be up before us and see the presents before we do. So,
I'm sure that we will be running to the store today, tomorrow, whatever. It's only a couple days before Christmas.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, gee.
I make a list and I check it twice, but a lot of times there's stuff that's not on my list
Yeah,
that I realize at the last minute.
well, I mean, 2018 is a lot different than 1979 when
Oh
we
yeah.
celebrated. I mean, stores are open around the clock
Oh yeah.
now. I mean, you
Yeah.
can go to all these big box stores and get whatever you want. You
Yeah.
know, back in the 70s, you had to go between 9 and 5 and Christmas Eve.
Right.
The whole town was shut down. Only the people that had jobs were able to go to work or
Yeah.
should go to work. But back then, it was hard to maneuver to get stuff. You had to fight and scratch and claw. There was no
Well,
Amazon. There was
right.
no
Right.
online.
You had to go out to the stores and buy the items. You didn't have. I always call the UPS guy my Santa in a brown uniform because he comes like almost every day and brings a package,
Yeah,
And now with Amazon Prime, it's like ding, ding, 2 days, it's at your
yeah,
doorstep. So I mean, we did that when we were trying to get a Christmas present for Connor. And
yeah.
we went to Target and the line was like wrapped around and wrapped around.
Oh
And I'm
yeah.
like, let's not stand in line. And I just went online,
Ordered it.
ordered it like in the car on the way home. And like within 2 days, it was at our house.
Yeah.
And it was just so much easier.
Part of the fun growing up Christmas was going to the store. I remember waiting to go to Children's Palace.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a Christmas store to me. It was
Mm-hmm.
it was maybe an hour away. It was down by Century 3 Mall, but you didn't go there every weekend.
Yeah.
Like you can go now every weekend, but back then you went once or twice a year. But when you went, you're like, whoa, look at all these presents. Look at
Yeah.
all these games
All
and
the
gifts.
toys. Yeah.
I mean, didn't you had a warehouse where you grew up, right? Wasn't there a toy warehouse?
Toy City.
Toy City. Was that Toy City?
Yeah.
Was there? Yeah. Toy City.
Toy City. Yeah.
What was that about? I don't know if I ever went to Toy City, but just the name is like, whoa, Toy City.
Yeah. I mean, it was like it was very like compact. It was not a big building at
Wasn't
all.
like Children's Palace?
Oh no. I mean, the building's still there. I could show it to you the next time we go up. But it's like I think it's still there. Yeah, it was a smaller building.
Yeah. Is that in Roscoe or is
Mhm.
that Stockdale?
No, Roscoe.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, you're in this tiny little town and you have
Toy
a
City.
store
Come on.
right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really neat. And they had a lot of like, pickup sticks and checkers and things like that. I don't remember like big, like at that time, like there were no remote control cars
Big
and
ticket
stuff
items.
like that.
Was it more
I
like
mean, they
dolls
may have
and
had them eventually.
Stretch
Yeah,
Armstrong and stuff like
dolls.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
things like that. Play-Doh and
I'm sure if the good doctor and Jackie was here, they could tell stories
yeah.
about Toy City.
Oh yeah,
and,
they probably remember it more than we do.
Yeah, I just remember the names, not so
Yeah.
much shopping there. Just
Yeah.
Children's Palace, Toys, Toy City, that's what you
Yeah,
called it?
that's what it was called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that was all the ones that were in the area that I could remember.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the
Did you
hills,
ever
the
go to
Grants.
Toy
I
City?
don't think so.
That
No.
would be so much closer than going down to Children's
Yeah,
Palace.
I don't know if anybody knew where that was. At least where I live, nobody talked
You
about it.
always talked about that you would come across the bridge to come into Charleroi, and you would always make the left and go into Charleroi. You said you never knew
Right.
there was anything
Yeah, I
down
never
that
knew there
way.
was anything down there, but that was like towards Elko,
Yeah.
Ellenport, and those places. There was never anything down there that I thought or that my folks thought that they would take me. I went as far as what, Winkies or KFC
Yeah.
on the River
Mhm.
Road. That was one of the things back in the day was you could only go to what you know. There was no internet. There was no smartphone
Right.
that you could look it up to say, hey,
Where are the directions to get
yeah,
down
like
there?
nearby Toy
Toy
City.
stores.
Yeah, something like that. There wasn't that. So you couldn't really find all the good places, but it was all word of mouth, I'd
Mhm.
probably say
Mhm.
back then. But yeah, if your mom and dad was here
Yeah.
on the podcast,
Yeah.
man, I tell you, they'd have a bunch of stories about that. They'd probably know when the heck
My
it
brother
opened.
probably remembers more than I
Yeah.
do, even,
So was that in
because
walking distance to that? Was it like a warehouse or
it
a
was like
store?
near the where the post office was,
Sure
where we
that.
would have to go and get our mail.
Oh, okay. All right. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I
On the
have an
main
idea.
street, like where the fire hall, like a
Yeah.
private fire hall.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Uh, so what other traditions did we have? I remember we put up a tree in our apartment when we
Yeah,
first got married.
yeah, I definitely needed
That was
that.
super fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess so. We're trying to figure out the whole tree thing. It must
yeah,
have been a brand new tree.
it was.
Oh,
It
okay.
was.
Yeah.
I think that we got it for Christmas. I mean, for a wedding present, or had money. We used some of our money from the
To
wedding to
buy a
get that.
tree.
Yeah,
To buy a tree.
artificial tree. Yeah,
Wow.
I think we had that. Did we have that tree until we moved here, and then
We
it broke?
probably did. Yeah.
It broke.
Yeah, it probably did break. I remember my sister Debbie and Dew would have a tree, like a real live
Real
Christmas
tree.
tree. Maybe once or twice I saw that because he always says, "Oh, Christmas isn't Christmas without a live tree."
Yeah,
But then I
yeah,
remember seeing all the needles and
yeah,
all the stuff that was involved in bringing the tree in and taking the tree out.
yeah.
That I'm not so sure
Well,
that
now they're talking about like all the stuff that are in the trees.
what
Remember,
like.
remember in Christmas, was it Christmas Vacation, or they had that squirrel that was in the tree?
Oh yeah,
But now
yeah.
they're saying like ants and blah. I'm
Yeah,
like, ugh.
yeah. Well, we saw the neighbors bring in a real tree
Oh yeah,
and put it in their
it was big.
entryway.
It was big.
Yeah, Stu and Kim put a big tree in their entryway, and it was fun to kind of watch them set it up because I'm just glad I didn't do it. For me to set that sucker up, man, it would take a lot of time and energy. So,
Well, they have their big burly sons
oh yeah, yeah, that's
that can
true.
carry it in there.
Yeah, that's true.
It'd be like me and you struggling with a tree.
Yeah.
Oh, and Logan too. He would help.
So, what other events can you think of?
Um, let me see. Well, one thing that we all need to be like a child at Christmas time. I remember Logan through the years. I mean, he loved the Barney Christmas video, and he
Oh
would
yeah,
start watching that. He would watch it in the summertime sometimes.
yeah, he
He just
did.
loved it, and he knew every song. He would sing and act it out, and it was almost like having Christmas throughout the year. You'd have that same like feeling, even if the sun was shining and we were outside or whatever, and he'd be in there playing, the video. Um, but I think that Christmas is a magical time, and like you said, that it's being with your friends and family and just enjoying each other.
Yeah,
And
he would actually act out the 12 days of
oh
Christmas, right?
yeah,
Like he
yeah,
would dance, sing and dance just like Barney
yep.
to do
He
the
knew
12
all.
days
He
of
was
Christmas.
only like a year and a half old or 2 years old, and he would know every. He'd remember every movement.
Right, right. Well, I think that helps him now with his editing and
Yeah,
his
and
screenwriting
his music.
and his music, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Logan is very talented, and I think that Barney might have started it
yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I that's about it. I don't think there's really anything
Yeah,
more.
well, would like the lovely Kim and I would
Yes.
like to wish you a happy
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, health and happiness for everybody.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But as always, That about wraps it up for Right on the Mark with your host, Mark. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tap the bell, and leave your comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Take care.